I'm Grant Stern, and this is Pinac News. On tonight's edition of Pinac Live, we've got JaVanni Brustow, citizen journalist in Washington, D.C., who recorded a man being pepper sprayed by the police for being 75 cents short on his bus fare. JaVanni, thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, JaVanni, please walk our viewers through the incident. What happened on that bus, and why did undercover cops jump in and start pepper spraying a man?
It was a very quiet trip. And suddenly we had three undercover Metro officers essentially storm a man and they asked him to leave. And no one really understood what for. He said that he paid his fare. Everyone around him joined and said that he paid. Again, there was a lot of tussling. They tried to restrain him and he begged for them not to pepper spray him. And of course, they did just that and sprayed him directly in the eye. There was a lot of screaming, there was a lot of crying. It was really tough to look at. It was kind of like a heart-wrenching thing to see, especially considering the fact that it started off as a quiet ride. And while
What
all the fighting, go ahead,
what hour was it when this all went down?
about 6:30
So this is like the end of rush
in the
hour. People are
afternoon.
on their way
Yes,
home.
yes, and being not far from or being on Capitol Hill, a few blocks from the Capitol, of course, tensions are a little bit higher. But the bus driver parked the bus and got off and essentially left us there with the undercover officers fighting with him, and they started pepper spraying. So we're left there to inhale the pepper spray, um, and basically dealt with it the best way that we could. Of course, just getting off on our own. And then about another seven officers or so, seven uh, police
Uniformed
officers came
officers,
on.
yeah.
Yes, came on and took it from there.
Well, how many people were on this bus? It was probably pretty crowded.
Yeah, it was a crowded bus. And
Um,
again, to open having the bus driver not giving any direction, he essentially like got off.
JaVanni, are you still with us there? Having a little
Yes, I
connection
am.
trouble. Okay. So, it's rush hour. They just pepper sprayed the guy. Did they make any arrangements for the other passengers? Did everybody get back on the bus after the pepper spray was deployed?
The driver never said anything else to us, and everyone was asking what. There was nothing said. They, bum rushed him. He kept saying, "I paid my fare." Everyone else shouted, "He paid his fare." Um, I mean, most people waited for another bus. And as I said, after getting off, when the seven or so officers came on and I stood up to, it was a lot and putting up a fight. And to see three officers, or the visual of three, um, three white men, they weren't, they were undercover versus one black guy. I immediately envisioned the worst. Like I, in my head, pictured someone being shot, and I kind of really didn't know how. Evening, I've been sitting at home trying to relax because this was a very overwhelming thing.
Sure. It's pretty intense to see something like this when you're really just going home on the bus.
Yes, and that's why it took so long for you to kind of reach me. I was working on something else, and
Sure.
again, trying to relax. It was very tough.
Well, so what spurred you to pull out the camera and record it and then post it?
Now, the part that I recorded, I didn't even bother when I saw what people were saying about how bad it was. Actually, um, it was kind of dying. I posted because I felt that I didn't really have that much of it. And after looking back at it, it was pretty bad. And at least seven other people were recording as well. There were a lot of other people around rushing, recording. And I felt that, well, myself being the blogger, maybe I should as well.
Sure. So, did you feel at any moment that you were concerned the police would get you involved because of the recording, or did you feel relatively safe standing a safe distance away from the situation?
I did the news station, and I just did audio. Being on television, I was kind of in the front, and I already deal with political bullying as it is. I didn't, you know, I didn't know how that was going to go.
So, tell
I'm
our
sorry.
audience a little bit about your blogging activities because I saw that you are a blogger and you do have a website in DC. You're the Mogul Pundit.
Yes, and I do conservative news blogging, a little bit more on the Republican side, and it's a Democratic city, so that kind of puts me on the opposition, which is, as I said, because I deal with criticizing and whatnot. I'm kind of on good terms with. So I did tell a council member for the area who did say that allegedly that there was a report. I don't know where this occurred. He said a stabbing on the bus. Now, um, I don't know if this people said that he was standing. They think that they might have followed him from another bus. Outside, you have just arrested him outside. Um, no. But as I said, being on the opposition, I really didn't want to make things worse for myself. So it's a couple side eyes from others. So I made sure that I kept.
Well, Giovanni, again, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us tonight, and I wish you much safer travels the next time you're on the DC Metro bus.
Certainly, sir. I absolutely am hoping for it myself.
And please tell our audience where they can find you on Twitter or any other platform that you're out there on, and about your website as well.
All right. For Twitter, my handle is Vonnie Media Mogul. And to find me online, you can go to vm3media.com.
All righty. Well, have a great night, Giovanni, and again, thank you for joining us on the program.
Oh, no, thank you.
I'm Grant Stern, and this is Pinac News. We remind you, be the media.